All right, techies and scientists, and we are back. Yes, we are for a new year 2026. The week has already gone by, and we are actually going to review the first week of January of 2026. Man, it's been a doozy. I mean, if you're watching the news lately, there's a lot going on. Somebody got kidnapped in South America. Oil tankers got grabbed. I mean, you have ICE agent in Minneapolis. I mean, social unrest. There's a lot going on. But yeah, we're not here to talk about that today, though. We are here to talk about the charts, trying to make some money, trying to understand what happened last week, why price were in the range, okay, why price was making so many wacky movements, and then we're trying to decide, okay, is next week going to be the same or is it going to be different? So that's what we're trying to decipher. So I'm not gonna make this too long. I'm gonna try to make this under 10 minutes, so bear with me. So far, when we're looking at the seasonal tendencies, it looks like everything is on par. So when the year first started, especially around January, price is usually on the upside, and as we can see, it is kind of going on the upside. And like right around, I'll say around February, mid-February, around February 13, that's when we may see a little bit of a pullback, if not a significant pullback. Doesn't mean that will happen, but we just got to watch out for that. We have to make sure that we keep this seasonal tendency as a roadmap so we can see what's going on, so we do not make the same mistake again. All right, so take a look at last week. We have on Friday, this is probably the most significant news, which was the non-farm payroll at 8:30. There were quite a bit of movement there. We'll kind of briefly discuss that a little bit later, so stay tuned. Don't click away. And we have the situation on employment. It seems like it wasn't delayed. When I was looking at this earlier this week, all of this information said it was delayed. I think some of these news there they were delayed but for the unemployment thing, for the non-farm payroll, it seems like everything was on par, everything was good to go. So there were a little bit of a price action going on there. So let us take a look at the fear and greed index for CNN. So it seems like we're kind of like neutral, and it kind of makes sense. It is neutral because we're not at the bottom, we're not at the top. So it's kind of like right in the middle. It can go either way, which is going to be my prediction for this week. It can go either way. It's like on a stalemate. So we're just waiting for a linchpin for Donald Trump to make a bad tweet or a good tweet, and then the market is gonna go parabolic one way or the other. So we'll probably have to wait for that. So I'll probably wait until Wednesday for that to happen. Me, I'll start trading maybe on Tuesday. Monday, I usually stay away from it because it's usually a doozy. So yeah, let's take a look at last week to see what happened and what's going on, and why price was such in the range, and why things seems like it was a little bit more difficult than anticipated. So this is my chart here. If you look on the right hand side here, so when the price opened last week on Sunday, it opened up, did not even retrace into the newly opening gap. It just keep going higher, punching higher and higher, kind of like give you a false sense that it's just gonna keep rocking higher. So it made a new high on Monday, and then kind of like retrace a little bit, and then made another high on Tuesday, and kind of keep that hope alive. And then there was a funky price action here from Tuesday night until Wednesday, where it had a retracement and then rock back up again on Wednesday. And I'm gonna show you why it was doing all of this, and then make the new high on Wednesday. And I believe that's when I went live on Wednesday, and I say, hey, the way I'm looking at this is a buy. But just because I say buy doesn't mean you need to buy all as you were getting on that price. And right after I say buy, and it started plunging. Funny how that works, right? So that's that. So, and also, I mean, if you've been trading for any significant amount of time, whether it's 3 months, 6 months, you already know when price is surging up like this and then it's getting into a premium, you need to at best be cautious not to buy and wait for at least a little bit of pullback or retracement to get in. Okay, so this is what it looks like right now, but I want to take you to this chart right here. And I'm gonna go back and forth in between screens. So when price opened on Sunday, it was a fair value gap on the daily, and it delved into a weekly liquidity void. And the chart on the right and the left is the same thing. So this one on the left is a daily. One right here is I say like that's a 5 minute chart. Okay, so price opened up what on Tuesday, on Monday, made a high, and did another high, and then once it came down, like I mentioned earlier, and we get it on Thursday, and then we have this funny price action zooming into this area right there. So to me, when we here, but it kept going sideways and sideways. So this is one of the things you cannot predict. You cannot predict when price is exactly the timing where have a good timing on what's going to happen. And this price action here, and I put it on my community tab. So this is a weekly liquidity void from an old contract. So as you can see here, if you look on the right, on the left, you don't see any void like this. You don't see that here. But if there was the previous for December 2025 futures contract, that void here was down below. So the one that you see on the daily as well. So with that being said, so right now with the new contract, it got shift up. And then now that daily and weekly that line up did not line up anymore. So only the daily line up. So with that being said, you have to keep in mind that price is going to move from the weekly old chart to the daily new gap. So remember what I just said. So it's gonna go from that old weekly void, liquidity void, into the daily, and that's exactly what happened here. So price kind of dipped in a little bit on the 25th percentile and then dropped below one more time, exactly to the tick, on the half of that old contract weekly liquidity void. Tap into it real quickly and then spring right back up with a lot of speed. And I believe it was right around 10 a.m. on the news driver. So let me take a look back. What was the news driver at 10 a.m. on that time? On Friday, because that was the last week on Friday. So we had consumer sentiment. So if you had any doubt that time is more important than price, I mean, I keep proving it weekly, daily, every day here, that time is more important. The moment that consumer sentiment drop, it doesn't matter whether it was good news, bad news. I mean, as a consumer, do you feel good about the economy? Hell no, I don't. So, but it doesn't matter. They want to use this as an excuse, as a pretext to send the price higher. Once you get into the half of that old weekly liquidity void, it's springing right back up to the newly daily liquidity void. And has he reached the top of it? Liquidity void from the date of October 24 to October 27, body to body. So this is body to body. So when you exclude the week, so for the day of 10/24, when it closed at a 25,771, you take one of your drawing and then you draw it up, and then you include the wicks in it all the way to the body of the open of 25,984. When you include that in there, you're gonna get a little bit more precise about where price is gonna go. If you just keep it at just the wick, yes, you get it close enough, but yeah, it's the those extra wick is what's gonna knock you off. Had like a stop loss on top of it, and then you didn't account for that wick, so it's gonna wick up and knock you out. So in order to get extremely precise, extremely tight on your precision, you want to include the bodies. Okay, so as you can see here, if I zoom in a little bit more, and I mean it's very nice, very tight, very nice. Kind of dig it in a little bit, went up, and right on top of it into that body. Touch it, kissed it a little bit, and then start falling off. So what I'm expecting when the market opened today on Sunday at 6, um, more than likely it will probably keep on dropping up. Maybe it's gonna be a small retracement, a little bit lower, maybe around 25,824 around that area, and then kind of resume back up throughout the week. So I'm anticipating that price is gonna keep going up because when I'm looking at the daily, there's been a gradual higher low, not necessarily a higher high, but it's knocking. It's like it's knocking at heaven's door. They say, "Hey, I want to go up." I made a high. I make a low here, a higher low, a higher low. It's time for me to go up. I mean, all these people that have the stop loss in here, I want to knock those out. It may not knock those stop loss this week, may not be next week, but I believe over the next course of the days, it's gonna keep going up to follow that particular what was I looking for? To follow the seasonal tendency, that price is gonna keep going up and up like this one right here. So this is what I have in the bag for today. So we'll take it, one day at a time, one week at a time. I'll say if you're gonna trade, let Monday pass by to kind of give you some data about what's going on, and then try to see what price is trying to do. I would not trade on Sunday. I usually don't trade on Sunday at all. I mean, I just look at it. Let's say it's open. I make some notes, and then I make a little bit of adjustment based on what I'm seeing, based on where price is open, and I make adjustment from there. And then I'll probably start trading like around Tuesday, around 8 a.m. or so, because I have enough data based on what London has been doing and what happened on Monday. So with that being said, enjoy, be cautious, happy trading. See you guys.